One of the many young teenagers coming out of the successful Kage Kart ranks and representing the rich area of Yuba City and Marysville is Drake Standley. In this interview on Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed, we talked to Drake about his start in karts, his family's lineage in sprint car racing, both non-wing and crate sprints, and much more. That's coming up next after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. Well, he drives the number 54S sprint car. He's from Yuba City, California, one of the upcoming teenagers out of the Golden State, Drake Standley. Drake, it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Drake, 2023 for you guys, right around 11 starts, 5 top 5s, 3 top 10s, but something notable, your first career podium finish in a sprint car. How would you say 2023's went, though, for you, from your own words?
To be honest, it's went pretty decent. I mean, definitely wish we had more starts this year and, we just had more races and, traveled more. But I would say, on the broad spectrum, it was, it's been pretty decent to me, haven't wrecked a lot. And so it's been a pretty decent year.
A second place result at Marysville Raceway on July 8th, obviously the high water mark for you guys. And you came up and traveled in the Pacific Northwest for Speed Week Northwest South and made most of the races for that stint. And I mean some pretty notable things.
Yeah, for sure.
Second place effort, I mean, was that like a win for you guys when you rolled it back in the trailer? Or I mean, you had definitely been excited and pumped up.
I mean, to be honest, for the team, it was a win. But for me, I was just frustrated because, for me to run Marysville, I want to win there. And, so I was just, to be honest, I was a little bit frustrated with second because, we ran second about the whole race. And then, there was a pile up at the end and I thought I could have had it, but but I mean, it was definitely, a positive, good note that we left on, but I definitely, was hungry for that win that night. So,
well, and there's been a lot of great racing there this year. I know that they got the big spectacular race coming up this Saturday. There for a while, there was a plethora of different winners each and every week. I think Andy Forsberg was the first repeat winner in 2023 at Marysville, and that wasn't until June or something like that. And that racetrack started in early March. March 3rd was the first race.
Yeah.
But oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was good.
I was just gonna say, Brian McGann Jr., the track champion, he had a sensational year. Obviously, Chase Magic, Landon Brooks had a good run. And what's really cool about that is sort of a common theme is that all of you guys that I just mentioned there have heavy roots with Cycleland Speedway and the Red Bluff Outlaws.
Yeah, for sure. All the people you mentioned, I talked to, and, we just talk about different races and things like that. But, it's definitely fun racing with them still, from I used to run with Landon, in 250 and even, a long time ago. So it's still fun to race with those guys.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's really cool because I wouldn't say that Marysville kind of might get this stigma as like where people, the test track or like the training wheels place. I really kind of think that it's a proving grounds because clearly, and yourself included in this category, is you get a bunch of young kids that are getting their first laps there. It doesn't take them very long to get fast and competitive. I mean, and Landon Brooks is a really good example. You're a good example of going to some different places, seeing some new facilities, and getting faster and better.
Yeah, for sure. I think Marysville has actually been pretty competitive this year, with guys like McGann, Dawson's been pretty good there. And then the weekly guys you usually have there, Bobby Bower, they're all really good there. So, I feel like Marysville definitely, people overlook it and, think bad about it. But, you know, I think it's definitely it's a competitive track along with the rest that I've ran this year too. So
It's an interesting place. I will still say it's an interesting place because
yeah,
there's only
definitely.
one way in and one way out, onto the racetrack and off the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, and then they've also had, you know, the crate sprint program is very successful. Wingless sprint racing is also enjoyable to watch there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's talk about you. It's been a couple years you've been in the sprint cars. I think it was a few years back. You and your family came up and ran what with Speed Week Northwest. But prior to that, I guess let's go pre-sprint cars. You just kind of said it. Red Bluff and Cycleland was kind of your racing life for many years.
Yeah, we pretty much started out at cycling. My dad used to run crate sprints back in Chico in 2012, 2013, and we went to watch a go-kart race at Cycleland because me and my brother Seth, we thought they were like, you know, little sprint cars. So we went and watched those, and then got in the pits later that night and started talking, and then talked to Ed Brown, and he gave us a car for free pretty much out of his one of his storage bins. And it was, you know, old down tube box stock cars. So we put that together and ran a few shows that year. Then the next year, you know, of course, we went full board with it and, you know, bought 2 box stocks. And then that's how pretty much me and my brother started. And you know, it's been pretty much that ever since, all the way up into sprint cars. And then, you know, obviously we can't afford 2 sprint car teams, but, you know, my dad still runs the 25S for my brother, but.
That's right, because you're a hired gun in the 54S team.
Yeah, that's owned by my uncle. So pretty much what happened is I was running my dad's car the first year in sprint cars, and then Seth was still running Red Bluff. But while Seth was running Red Bluff, Marysville was just starting their, you know, the beginning of the year race or whatever that one was.
The Toller,
and
the Toller Memorial.
Yeah, and so Kyle was like, why don't you just run my car, you know, and just, you know, eventually we'll see what happens. So I got in Kyle's car that weekend, and Seth was still in Red Bluff, and then it's been that ever since pretty much. Seth got into my dad's sprint car that year, then we've just been running, you know, I've been running my uncle's car since then, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's super cool. You talk about Red Bluff and Cycleland. I had a conversation with Michael Ing not that long ago, last week, I think. And we were talking about that I'd never been to Cycleland. I've driven past it several times on my way to Marysville or to where I usually stay in Gridley. But able to see a race there, I've yet to partake. Red Bluff, obviously, their season opener is this Saturday. That's where I'm going to be. And it's basically a tale of 2 tracks. One, you've got a wide open, you know, crazy fast racetrack with Cycleland, where Red Bluff, it's tight quarters, elbows up, and we'll just say it close quarters. It gets close quarters racing sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the 2 go-kart, those 2 majority go-kart tracks, Cycleland and Red Bluff, they kind of relate to a lot of the sprint car tracks we run, you know, because I would definitely compare Red Bluff to more of like, you know, Peeville, you know, it's Peeville's not super banked, but it's pretty banked, you know, it's tight, small racing. And then, you know, you get tracks like Cycling where, you know, it's not the size of Tulare, but it's pretty big, you know, and it's flicks off. Red Bluff is super similar to Fosterville, I feel like, in that aspect of it.
Well, in Red Bluff, it seems like stuff happens so fast that if you're not paying attention at all, you're caught up in someone else's mess through no fault of your own.
Well, yeah, I mean, Red Bluff, the track's only 3 cars wide, so, you know, if 2 guys wreck out on the bottom, you know, you have little to no room to get around. So it's definitely super, you know, close quarters there, and, you know, elbows up.
No doubt. And then tell me about kind of the journey of, okay, we're racing Kage Karts, we've got good speed here, we've got a lot of we've got some good seasons under our belt. How'd the conversation go of, okay, I want to get in a sprint car? Was that you going to your family, or a little of both? The family coming to you like, hey, do you want to start this sprint car thing? I guess tell me how that origin story happened.
Well, pretty much the plan for, me and Seth, since we were kids, was eventually, run go-karts, run all the way to open, and then, eventually get into a sprint car, and then go from there, and see how far we can go with it. But I got to the point where I was in open, and I was getting frustrated at Red Bluff, just not getting the results I wanted. And, I felt like I hit a wall at Red Bluff. So that next spring, we bought a car off Dave Carrick and a Spike chassis. And before I actually ran that car, I ran a crate sprint for Performance, the Dozers, the Performance Auto Supply in Marysville.
Okay.
They had a car sitting in their shop, just some old, beat up, just, definitely out of date car. And I was like, I figured I might as well go run it and see what we can do. And I actually won the first race that I ran, a crate sprint at Marysville. So that was pretty cool deal to do. And then, but yeah, I mean, we debated on running crate sprint the first year. I was going to run a sprint car, but seeing everyone, everybody I'm buddies with, they're already all in 360. So, it's kind of a no-brainer just to hop in a 360.
So getting in a crate sprint, what would that been, 2020 COVID year or 2021?
2020 COVID year.
Okay. Which Marysville was really one of the first was really the only place that consistently ran on a weekly basis, or at least it started that trend. Like, my gosh, I don't know how many races they got in. I'm going to have to look that statistic up, but it was, it seemed like it really helped them, being that they're on one of the very few racetracks in California on private land, and they were able to get a lot of shows in.
Yeah, the funny thing about the crate show that I ran, it was actually on a Wednesday night. So, and there was like limited fans, limited pit passes. It was all that deal. So it's definitely, a COVID style race. We few people there, and so that was pretty interesting to run.
Yeah, the fans were too rowdy. They had to kick them all out. Kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot in soccer they like a closed stadium or something because both fan bases are banned from going, so you're basically watching them play in silence. So,
yeah.
But no, I remember going there. Let's see, it was Memorial Day, the day of Memorial Day, and they had a big 360 show there. Can't remember for that crate sprints. I know they had IMC Northern Sport mods, and I maybe had like their hobby stocks. And for me, at the time, I guess I can say this, hopefully statutes of limitations don't apply, but I was working for the school district here in Oregon, and it was my first time really going out of state, and I felt like I was being smuggled in another country. Like, oh my gosh, like, are they going to stop me? Are they going to be like, you have to take a test? I mean, but that's how wild and crazy the times were then.
Oh yeah, for sure. With all the sim racing going on for all the, the higher up guys, and like, all the outlaw tour and all that, it's definitely shows, what times were like then.
Well, and then I think I went down with Brian Crockett. I rode down with him to the Marysville race, and we went to somewhere in Tehama County. Had to have been Red Bluff, like just stopped at a petrol station. And no one's wearing any mask. In California, the most stringent, strict when it came to, dotting I's and crossing T's. That was something interesting. It took me a moment to like realize, oh my gosh, no one's wearing a mask here. Okay. So.
Yeah. Especially towns like Red Bluff, and even our town like Yuba City, pretty. You don't get a lot of people that wear masks and things like that. It's pretty laid back here, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of a busy little joint. I never realized this until of all these, going to Red Bluff every week in the wintertime, or going to California for sprint car races pretty much all spring and summer. But like, you look at a lot of trucking companies, there's a lot of big outfits based in the Yuba City, Marysville area.
Yeah, there's a lot of truck stops that roll through here, and a lot of, different ones like that. It's definitely a big trucking town.
But go ahead.
With me, I was gonna say we got that Highway 99 that rolls right through here, so definitely a big travel point for everyone.
Yeah, I-80 is not too far. The 5 is only, I don't know, from Yuba City, it's probably only like 20 minutes away or so. But I've rolled through there because when I go through Gridley, 99 south to get back where I'm going on the 5, and it gets busy. There's some parts there. I forgot what that stop sign is. It's right before the Wendy's but it's like bridge something, and like it'll be backed up, and it goes from like 3 lanes to 2 lanes to I think almost 1 lane. So
yeah,
it gets a little
for sure.
Gets a little wild and western. So and this may. So 54S, because I remember you driving the 25S, the family car. 54S, is that number origin? Is that with your Uncle Kyle, or where did that come from?
That's just been my uncle's number since because he used to run a lot of wingless stuff,
Okay.
And so that's just been his number since he used to have a car and all that. But and then I got his car and he's like, I'm not changing it because my number's always been 21. The first year in my dad, he says that whoever rents his car can they can run their number. So the first year in I was 21 and I was a blue and gray car, but my uncle, he definitely he likes 54. So
yeah. If you're getting the call up, might as well go with whatever the chief says.
Yeah. A race car's a race car. I'll drive it, so it don't matter.
So obviously the Spooktacular this weekend, is that it for you guys? Are you guys going to try and make the tribute to Gary Patterson or even possibly Antioch the week after?
To be honest, even the Spooktacular is questionable for me because in Tulare, I was running the C main and my armor string got caught somewhere on my seat on the left side, and I couldn't even get the car to rotate going in, and it just spun out, and I flipped when we were in Tulare, and so I pretty much junked that car. The chassis bent, the rear end's done, tail tank's done, wing, all that. So for me and Kyle to be able to run the Spooktacular this weekend, we pretty much have to build an entire new car. So it's actually in the air right now if I'm going to put my seat in my dad's car because this weekend's the first points race at Red Bluff. So I don't know if Seth's going to go run that or if he's going to stay in the seat for Spooktacular. Because if he's going to go run Red Bluff, then my dad said that we're throwing my seat in his car for Marysville this weekend.
Okay. And as 2023 kind of wraps up and closes down in California, for 2024, have you guys started to kind of put a plan together, or is there some stuff that you guys would like to do next year, or what's that looking like?
To be honest, there's not really a schedule for me next year. I wish that I could have a defined race schedule that I could run, but I don't know what's in store for me next year as far as races that I'm going to hit and races I'm not. So I guess it's still up in the air, just what's going to happen for me.
Okay, and I assume keep an eye on Stanley Motorsports page that just launched a little bit ago.
Yeah, for sure. Chris from Fast Time Media, he runs that, and he's definitely stays up to date with us, and is super active on that page. So
awesome. And for any folks that want to purchase apparel from you guys, or I guess I should say, is there an apparel run in the works, or one that's already been happening?
We've actually been talking about this. We're talking about this winter, starting up just some Stanley Motorsports shirts, not super specific with either car, just, general motorsport team shirts. So, just something that's, for me and Seth to, have. So,
yeah, no, that's super cool. Super, super cool. I'm trying to think anything else. I mean, for you, what are some things that you feel that are attainable, some goals that you'd like to set for either next season or the seasons to come? Is that, getting a 410, running NARC, running Sprint Car Challenge Tour full-time in a 360, going to the Midwest or going to the Pacific Northwest some more? Anything on the table that you'd really like to achieve here in the next couple seasons?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just, this off season, work, get myself in better shape, just, overall get myself more prepared for next year, then, just try to find opportunities to run, everything I can, whether it's, 410 would be really nice, but, definitely, it would have to be, something we'd have to work for. So, but other than that, just shoot for, as many 360 races I can get and, just continue to progress, to work on my racecraft, and just try to be a better driver next year. Hopefully get a few wins. That would be real nice for me. But, just in general, try to, progress myself as a driver, be in the right mindset in the car, and just be ready to, to run up front.
Well, and something that's really cool, honing back to the whole Marysville topic, is the amount of wealth of talent that has came out of that area. And you're a part of this. You and your brother Seth is that new generation, but you have drivers from a couple decades ago, like the and still they're involved in some way. The Lovels, the Doziers, the Wasinas. That Yuba City area is definitely rich and now you got Landon Brooks from nearby Rio Oso. It's definitely rich with some great talent that's come up over the last few decades.
Oh yeah, we actually keep Kyle's car at Corey Lovell's shop. We share Yuba City Scrap and Steel, so it's cool to see all the stuff he's got in his shop that's old and from times when he raced and definitely to see younger guys around here too. Like I said, Landon Brooks, he used to live in Yuba City. We went to school together, at Sutter and stuff like that. So it's definitely, cool to see guys like him start doing things in the, motorsport world. And, he's definitely, going to be the next driver.
Well, and you throw that name out there, Sutter. That's definitely a catching name with Logan Seavey, who just won the Silver Crown Championship with the USAC and now is going to try and win the Midget Championship. Red Bluff lineage and Cycleland lineage there. And, of course, we really can't forget his brother Tyler, also an incredibly talented cage kart racer.
Yeah, they're both really good at, go-karts for sure, and Logan definitely just, he's just a phenomenal driver, almost anything. I mean, it's hilarious last weekend, just real good, in a wing car. Then that would suck he was light at scales like that, but
yeah. Well,
definitely.
It's been great catching up with you, and it's been great to get you to know you even more than I already have. Sponsors or people that you'd like to thank that have made 2023 possible or that are going to be helping in 2024?
Yeah, I would just like to thank, my uncle. Ultimately, he puts in the work, and he definitely splits the bill on a lot of things. So definitely would like to thank him, and then obviously just sponsors in my car, Golden Valley Auto Body, Corey, and Yuba City Scrap and Steel, H. Miller Trucking, Van Leer Steering Repair, and then, just my parents, for helping me out, and then, just everybody else that supports me, Rod, Tyner, Josh, there's a lot of people behind me that, help support me and, want to see me grow as a driver.
Well, Drake, I'm really excited to see how things are going to unfold for you in the years to come, and hopefully you guys can race some more before 2023 is over, and we'll definitely be staying in touch.
All right, sounds good, Ben. Thank you.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.